Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Well, we have an article here claiming that the Iranian military is helping the Russian military operate drones. I do not believe that's the case, and I'm going to give you the reasons as I read this article. This article comes from, I think it's Ukrainska Pravda, so there is a Ukrainian news outlet, from Sunday 23rd of October 2022. Iranian instructors in Belarus help launch drones at Ukraine. The National Resistance Center reports that Iranian instructors were brought to Belarus, where they are training the Russian military and coordinating UAV launchers on infrastructure facilities in Ukraine. Quote from NRC. In the village of Mikulich in Gomel Oblast, a group of Iranian instructors, officers of the IRGC, who are under the increased protection of the Russian National Guard, and FSB officers have been spotted. According to information from the Belarusian partisans, it was these instructors who coordinated the launches of the Shahid 136 UAV at infrastructure facilities in the Kiev Oblast and the northern and western Oblast of Ukraine, end quote. According to local resistance group, the Russians have taken complete control of the air bases in Bernavichi and Lida. The occupiers continue to use them to launch strikes on the territory of Ukraine. Now, the New York Times previously reported that Iran sent instructors to occupied Crimea to help the Russians overcome problems with a fleet of drones they purchased from Tehran. Before that, the Ukrainian resistance movement noticed that there are up to 20 instructors from Iran on the territory of the temporarily occupied Kherson Oblast. The American Institute for the Strategy of War believes that Shahid drones will not affect the course of the war. The Russians use them hoping to generate non-linear effects through terror. Now, New York Times is really not to be believed, and the reason why is because just read their articles regarding the September 11 attacks and articles regarding the invasion of Iraq, and that's enough for you to understand that they have an agenda, and the agenda is in line with the American military-industrial complex. That's the first point. The other point that I want to make is the fact that you have a drone. Now, a drone is what? An unmanned vehicle that flies in the air, and you can use it to in two ways. One, you put the coordinates of the target. If this is a kamikaze drone, we're going to go and probably plunge into that, or it's going to be going and firing on those targets. Now, have you ever used a drone? Well, I have. Military drone, not really different than the civilian one. Why? Because they, as I said, they go with visual and they go with the coordinates. Now, if they go with the coordinates, you have to insert the coordinates based on the intelligence you get it from the satellite. Are the Iranian drones, if there are over there, using the Iranian satellites for coordinates? And if yes, how could they be transparent? Or I don't even know they use. I don't even think they use any Iranian drone satellites, to be honest with you. So if they would use, they would probably use the Russian ones. Now, if you use the Russian ones, you have to have access to the coordinates, the system that will provide you with the coordinates of wherever you want to attack. And from there, it's manual, or you just insert it as, okay, coordinates, blah, 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 has to be attacked. Goes over there, launches, and explodes in those coordinates. Or the ones that are coordinated with the joystick. Left, right, and that's visual. Right? And based on the coordinates. So I don't think you need really, how should I put it, Iranian officers to train someone in operating a joystick and I don't think so. And the little program that will tell you where to go and strike, I think that would require about 5 minutes to learn that system, or if not 10 minutes, if not a day. I don't think you need instructors to come over. But anyway, I understand that there is a lot of propaganda and influence. Now, first, the Ukrainians claim that, and since the Ukrainian claims that, the Western take that as true. The Russians and the Iranians obviously deny that. And you and I, how can we figure out the truth? I don't believe either side, just so you know. I don't believe the Ukrainian or the American side. I don't believe the Russian side. All right? And let's say, okay, that is the there are Iranian drones. Okay, so, oh my God, they can't, do this because it's in violation of blah, 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 blah. Well, okay, if it's in violation of that, how about Israel? Is Israel in a violation of any UN charters? Yes, they are. How about the United States being present on a territory of a sovereign independent country of, let's say, Syria? Does that violate any UN charters? I bet that does. So then why am I supposed to condemn this, if that is true, and not condemn that, which is already true? So we still have questions about the Iranian use or Russian use of Iranian drones, but there's no doubt that Israel violated and bombed yesterday Syria with 4 F-16s provided by the Americans with missiles and guided bombs. Is that legal? No, it's not. Any sanctions? No. So, when these guys are going to be fair and just, then I will look into that too. Until then, don't expect me to use my justice, how should I put it, gauge in this matter, but don't use my justice in this matter. No, if that is wrong, let's figure that out, find the perpetrators, and go from there, go to the next one, and the next one, and the next one. And you do this chronologically, okay? We don't start with now. No, we start with that, and then that, and that, and that, because that thing, if you solve it there, you might figure out in the future what you can do. So they want us to forget about all that and focus on this, because why? I refuse to do that. Why? Because the exact people who make me or ask me to focus on this issue are the ones who are currently perpetrating violations of the United Nations Charter elsewhere on this planet. And I'm supposed to condemn these guys and forget about that. And I'm not willing to do that. I am not. So if this is wrong, then that's wrong either. And if that's wrong, because that started earlier. And then we can get to this one. All right? So it's like you say, well, you got to arrest him because he punched me in the face. What did you do to him? Well, I kicked him in the bowl about 5 minutes ago. Well, let's start with that. And then what happened? Well, he pushed me. Okay, and then what? I scratched him over his face. What else? So you go back chronologically and you start, before you solve the current problem, you have to figure out and understand how did you get to that and who's who, what's what. Okay? Oh, what are you doing here? You're a pedophile. You're not supposed to be on the premises of this house. So what are you doing here? So the fact that you were punched in the face by the father and you're a registered sex offender, you were not supposed to be in the first place. So you violated that. So this, that he punched you in the face, going to be thrown in the garbage and you're going to be charged with that. That's how it works. Or it used to be working in my civilization, but we're turning into Middle Eastern, how do you call it, mosaic culture, not civilization, culture. And that's not good, because then we're going to go to a collective punishment and we're going to punish people 7 generations, and the Roman law did not do that, and we're still Romans and ancient Greeks by our civilization. We're not, I don't know, that. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.